It is Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. And, looking at the sources we have today, it feels like we grabbed files from two completely different worlds.
It does look a little strange at first glance, yeah.
I mean, we've got this super technical report from Navitas Semiconductor, some stock data for Motorcar Parts of America, and then the Redondo Beach City Council agenda for today.
Right. And usually those things have absolutely nothing to do with each other.
Not at all. But this Voxel Micro Video Labs report we have, it argues they're not just connected, they're actually feeding each other. They're calling it the Silicon Beach extension.
And that's the core idea.
The premise that really grabbed me is that the thermal density of an AI chip in a lab in Torrance is directly setting real estate prices on the coast in Redondo Beach. That just sounds like a stretch.
It does, but when you follow the money, it starts to make sense. It all begins in Torrance with what Navitas Semiconductor is calling Navitas 2.0.
Okay, so this is the deep tech part. They're building a new power platform for AI data centers.
Yeah.
For those of us who aren't electrical engineers, why is that such a big deal?
Well, the biggest problem for AI is heat. It's a massive energy and heat problem. Your traditional silicon chips, they just get incredibly hot. Navitas is using different materials, gallium nitride and silicon carbide. You can just think of them as super materials that handle way more power without melting down.
So they run cooler, essentially.
Much, much cooler. They're hitting 98.5% efficiency. That means less energy wasted as heat, which, if you're building a huge data center, lets you pack everything much, much tighter. They call it densification.
And that densification inside a server rack is actually changing the physical buildings in Torrance.
Precisely. This is what the Voxel report calls the lab over logistics premium. If you're a landlord there, you can't just rent out a big concrete warehouse anymore.
Right.
A company like Navitas, which, by the way, just raised around $100 million to expand, they need clean rooms. They need access to a huge amount of power. They need labs, not just empty space.
And we can see the other side of that coin right in our source stack with Motorcar Parts of America.
It's a night and day difference, really. While Navitas is booming with AI, MPAA is in the, legacy auto parts world. They just reported a $17 million sales drop.
Wow.
They're trying to pivot to EV testing to survive, but the whole commercial real estate market there is now tracking one thing. Can your building be retrofitted for high-tech use?
So the question for an industrial property in Torrance is now, can this building house a chip lab?
That's the tech node. But this is where Redondo Beach comes in. The engineers who design these super efficient 800-volt power systems, they're earning very high salaries. The Voxel report calls this the engineer dividend.
And even though the Navitas stock is, a bit volatile this morning, I saw it jumping between like 909 and 922.
Yeah, it's been active.
Their salaries are stable, right? That's the key.
That's the floor. Those salaries don't stay in the industrial parks in Torrance. That workforce, they want a certain lifestyle, so they move to the coast.
Creating a lifestyle node in Redondo.
Exactly. And it's a bubble that's kind of insulated from the broader LA economy because it's funded by this very specific high-income payroll.
Which brings us to the Redondo Beach City Council agenda. Looking at the items for today, it reads less like a public meeting and more like a corporate brand strategy.
It's very intentional. Voxel calls it lifestyle capture. The city is in closed-door negotiations right now with Nike about a waterfront presence.
I saw that. And with the Beach Life Festival over marina parking.
And Game On Life Studio, too. They are actively curating a sort of resort-grade environment to capture all that disposable income being generated a few miles away in Torrance.
It's a fascinating loop. Torrance designs the engine, and Redondo builds the luxury playground to use it in.
But that creates a huge vulnerability, which the report points out. The entire lifestyle node, the property values, the Nike store, the festival, it's all propped up by this AI hardware boom.
Right. So if demand for that 98.5% efficiency ever slows down, or the AI sector itself just, cools off,
then the question becomes, is that lifestyle sustainable without the tech node driving it? The whole region has effectively bet its future on the back of a silicon carbide chip.
It means your home's value could literally depend on the heat tolerance of a server rack. Something to think about. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.